We pull all the way up to this point. If you can see, so far we did about 1,488 lines, and all that we are seeing around here are things that we did together. All the codes we are seeing on the screen right now are the things we did together. And I'm happy that every single code is still there. These were the arrays I was talking about. We moved there to look at the if statement, if else statement. Don't forget on as to how to be able to apply them. The loops, for loop. I didn't do while loop with you for a reason. And of course, we use inbuilt functions in R too. What is it? Functions in R. So how to be able to write a function, call the function, and the function will simply work for you. Like area of a rectangle, a function L and B. So after I finish running, what is it? If I run the function, anytime I then call the function, it will ask me to bring two. What is it? It will ask me to bring two letters or two something something. So for instance, if I start to write, you see that it will come there and it will request that bring your length and your breadth. So if I enter 8, comma, then I put 17. If I do enter now, if I run it, it should give me the answer. And those were what the functions were doing. Write a function to calculate the surface area of your plate. Don't forget some of these things, like how we will apply them. And I was saying that sometimes in data science is about you being intuitive. For instance, I remember there was this assignment as to how to calculate. Somebody want to set up a restaurant, and you want to know how many tables can enter there. The person said, "This is the land size I have." So, and I want to have this number of tables inside. So it's left onto you to be able to estimate using your background. You write a function and say that, okay, if you want 100 tables, then each table should have this size, and in that order. We went all the way to look at data visualization, bar plot in R, if we can all remember. Then stack bar plot. I think the bar plot, if I can remember very well, the margins are too big. And I remember I said that anytime you run something and they tell the margin is too big, it means that the window where the plot is supposed to appear is too small. Just slide it and make it bigger. So for instance, if I just should do this, come again and run it, you can now see the bar plot quite well. Then we looked at the stack bar plots, and the difference is that is the data set you are using. Stack bar plot, you deal with matrix data. Already we know how to create or how to even change a data frame into matrix, how to even create a data frame in the first place. So we had the example like this. We went ahead to do an assignment, and then I remember. Then we also looked at box plots, histogram, line graphs, and quite a number of them under the data visualization. By then we looked at data cleaning and data reshaping. So we were using how to be able to combine columns, combine rows, or join two data frames together. And of course, we use this particular one for data cleaning, Glimpse, and then the tidyverse operator, package, where we can use the pipe operator to be able to select and then remove whatever we don't want, remove and replace using mutation. Missing data, I think that most of the codes too are with all of us. Then we went all the way to look at data distribution, normal distribution, binomial distribution, and where to apply them. And I keep saying that I saw Eben showing me something right now. I wanted to ask him that question, whether he checked the distribution of the data first. If the data is skewed, you might be, if it means that you need to make sure that the data is normally distributed, or closer to normal distribution, so that when you are interpreting your results, you don't have a problem. So nonlinear regression.
Normally distributed.
Okay, then that's great. So decision trees, I think that we created one, and we tried to interpret what that means before we came into creating survivor analysis, which is very important. That day, Paulina did not participate fully because she thought that it is something that she wouldn't need. What is it? In data science, you don't actually skip anything. Then we also try to look at the survivor analysis package, then the Cox regression, and what it does. You're just looking at the different levels of the survivor. You are comparing two survivors out. Then you use the Cox regression model to be able to do that. What again? Then chi-square, I didn't talk about it, but you are just testing. Okay, perform a chi-square here. So we were also able to look at how to import data. If you are importing from Excel, from whatever, from a CSV file, from a text file, you notice that now that we are doing R Markdown, you see that the text files is not coming in. So data, we went to ggplot, how to be able to visualize data using ggplot. And then these were the ggplots that we did. And then building artificial neural network in R. I think we did this too as well. And then the number of layers. I didn't emphasize much more on that because it was supposed to come at somewhere in our series. This one, I think this one there is not. This one, it was just a heat map. This one, I was just doing it for like, it was for my usual, when I'm sitting down doing nothing, I just go into trying to do something. So how to write into a file, I think we did this too. It's very important. Some data say you want to pick it out of R to a different environment. And of course, so these were the things we did up to. I don't think that's all of it. Then we went into machine learning. The machine learning was on this particular one. I can't remember where the machine learning I put the script, but it's one of the tabs which should be there. And so if Mohammed is still online, yesterday
Mohammed is off.
Yeah, his network is always a problem. So I can't get quickly where we did the machine learning part, where we actually, but those scripts are there. I think if I check somewhere, they should be there. They should be there. And so yesterday, we tried to look at R Markdown, and I gave you to go and try something. Paulina, if you do not try something, it means you are owing me.
Which one?
The R Markdown.
Oh no! I will try.
Huh?
I will try.
Okay. No, but I was saying that before we parted company, I remember I said that when you go try and then do some kind of assignment using the R Markdown to prepare a report. I'm not too sure you did. Did you?
I will do and send to you.
Okay. I will remind you. Okay, so I'm trying to look for where the machine learning was it with this? I'm not getting that part. I'm not getting where I kept the script. Yeah, it's big script. I remember how I saved it. Big script. Okay, yeah, it should be here. Yep.
But I hope we'll be going back to R Markdown, right?
Yeah. So I think these were the few things we did. So like most of these things that we did, I mean, which of them, is there any of them that you did not get it quite clear? I know Paulina didn't get survivor analysis quite clear because she didn't follow that one. But the point I want to make here is that it's not practically about just having these codes and running them, but just understanding the data sets and how and what is required of you and how you'll be able to at least get something out of the data. That's the most important thing about data analysis. When you look at the data set, what are some of the things that I am required to do? And you can easily always do that. So that's the most important thing. And so R Markdown, yesterday as we started, if this guy was around, or he's still not around. So R Markdown, as we started yesterday, I think that now we should all have complete grips as to how to be able to set up our R Markdown basics. There is something I want us to follow today in R Markdown, but I'm thinking that it might not be too necessary. But let's try and see. It's about, the other ways through which we can have our R Markdown look much more beautiful. The whole document. I think what we did yesterday is even much more of the crash of the whole thing. And we should remember that we are going to create our R Markdown here. So I'm just coming to a new session. But you could see here we have reset working directory, load space. All these things are things that we have not learned yet. Okay. And but time did not allow us how to load a space. This part of how to load a space is what we use when we are dealing with meta-analysis. And then, or somebody has done his work somewhere and you want to replicate that work, there's something we call load space. How do we load a space? There's still a lot of things that we needed to have learned. But I think what we have is the grip. So anytime you want to do R Markdown, you should know that the first thing is to go to your session. And then when we come to session, you see that I was already doing something. Then quickly, your R Markdown is opened. Well, once I have this already there, I'm just going to close this. Now, what you are seeing here, it's like there's something here that you are not seeing maybe quite properly. Yeah, I didn't want to start from here. For yesterday, we noticed that in R Markdown, when you open your R Markdown, the first thing is to go and then activate your quick references. And you can always do that by using the help. If you are on files, these are links in R. If you're on package, go to help, and then you can get all the quick references. If you come to help and then you are not getting these quick references, go to the help key here. You click on that, and then you can come to R Markdown quick references. Then it gives you the syntax as to how to be able to follow your R Markdown. Yesterday we did some, and that was much more about it. Today, what I'm just going to show you is this small thing I have here. You can actually start the R Markdown just like the way we started yesterday. But you can also start it like the way we have it here. In this case, when you have the ASCII, 3 of them, and then you come to close it with another 3 of them, the whole of this, whatever that you have here, is like when you are doing programming or like you are trying to initiate a different process or a different way through which you want to manipulate the rest of the document. For instance, you have your R Markdown, but you want the text to appear in a different format. So you see that here, I have not indicated that this block I have created is an R code or it is any code. So if I leave it this way, that block is a something we call what a YAML document that we are going to create, and that document is going to allow you to refine all that you are going to do here in the best way that you want. It may not be all the time that you need HTML document. You could want it in the form of a PDF. You could want it in the form of a different output. You could want it to appear in a different way. So it's when you create this small outlook that allows you to be able to make those changes. I was trying to come here, change something here, then I'm going to come there and then try to see whether I can add other here. So I was trying to make sure that we just try to learn this basic one, but there is something that I need to be very comfortable with before I can teach it. It's going to involve referencing, how to be able to do in-text referencing, bibliography, and then all sort of things when you are doing your document or your output. So that aspect, I want to get myself familiar. I haven't done it personally, so I don't want to be showing you something that I'm not comfortable with, and that's why I don't want to go to that particular side. But when you create this block, you are simply telling R Markdown that let me try and knit it, and you see what is going to be there. So you see, when you are creating the document, this is how it's supposed to appear. And then when you want to change whatever that's, let's say I don't want it in the form of HTML, there is this package that we have to install that can allow us to change the format of everything that I am doing now. And then when we have that particular package, it will appear on your HTML file here as a scroll button. Then you can select, like the way we go to Word document, and we can go and click on whether you want Times New Roman or whatever style that you want. It's going to come with different styles, and then you'll be able to use it to change your document the way you want it to shape. Apart from that, there isn't anything too advanced that we need to add to the R Markdown that we know already. There isn't anything too advanced. These are the two things I just noticed. How to be able to change the document shape and how it will look for you, and then how to be able to do referencing, for instance, citation, how to be able to cite. For instance, you see, I just say cardiovascular diseases is a major cause of morbidity and mortality with a high incidence and prevalence in Africa. Then there is a reference here, but over here it is seen as a text, so it's not a reference. If it's a reference, when I click on it, it should take me to that. So there is a way through which we can insert this reference once we are doing our R Markdown listen to what is the tutorial when we are doing our R Markdown documentation. When we do that, then we'll have everything. By the time we finish, we'll print everything as a complete document. There's nothing that you need to do again. It will just be due for submission. So you can type, you can do whatsoever. So that's the aspect I'm saying that I want to get much more familiar with it before I'll be able to do it with you. But when I check through, that's how much more of anything else that we need. Apart from that, what we did yesterday, there was some few things that I did not add. Opening a block like this, and I'm saying that particular block, I want it to be an R block. So I just put R there. Then it's going to identify it as an R block. So all the codes that are going to be there is going to be R. Now there was, let me do this. Hello. Come again.
Amen.
Who is praying for you?
Praying for me.
And I heard amen.
I thought it's
okay. So what we have here is, let's say, it's just, so it's an R block, but there are some few things I didn't do that I want to do now. So let's say I wanted to look at a histogram. So I'm just going to say histogram of empty cars. So I put empty cars there, but I need to select the column. So I'm going to do this and then say that I want a histogram of the MPG. And then I can come out of this, come here, then maybe just close it. Then I have closed that block. Now, if I come on top here, maybe I've forgotten that in the order of my work, I didn't want this to come before something on top here. So I just remembered that I needed to put another block on top here. So what block is that? Maybe I wanted to have a scatter diagram. So maybe to just have a feel of some of the whatsoever that is there. So I want to create a block on top like this, but immediately I add R, and then I say that I put R inside. You see that it's coming to join the other block down there, and there is a little bit of conflict. So the under one there is no longer a block, and then R is telling me that you cannot have this block on top there. So what you normally do easily is you can just leave two lines like this and come here, so that when you do that, it will separate and leave you to not write anything in between, and then you have no problem. So if I come there, I can now say maybe I wanted to look at a scatter smooth of the empty cars data sets. But maybe I'm not looking at all of them. I'm just looking at let me put this. I'm just looking at how many of the columns. I'm just looking at maybe say column 1 to 2. And so when I have done that, maybe I've also forgotten. Maybe this one, I don't really want the listen. The code to appear. So what I'm going to do is I can do echo. I think I don't know whether I mentioned it yesterday. So I can do echo. Okay. I can do echo. I can do okay. Then I could also do cuts, but that is not coming. I could do other things that maybe which is not here. So apart from that, the next thing that I think that we need to also know at the intermediate level is Okay, let's run this and see whether there will be a mistake somewhere and how do we correct that mistake, because I'm actually going to come down here. I'm going to come down here and do something and then let you see this. So I'm going to create a small topic and say that and call that part 2. No, part 2, and then say, then come here and under that part 2, I want to say that I'm creating an R block, and that particular R block I want to have a glimpse. You notice that as I'm typing glimpse did not come. Yeah. So now it has come on top there. So I'm going to glimpse of empty cars. So I finished. I want to close that block and then see whether if I can print, if I can knit my HTML. There is an error. Can you see the error there?
Yeah.
We did not find the function glimpse. So at this point, what do we do? Now, what we are supposed to do is almost the same as what we have been doing before. You know that glimpse is found in a package called Tidyverse. So go and look for Tidyverse. And then activate it.
You
selected. Oh, no.
Select.
Yeah, it's also one of the functions. Warning. See that they are giving me warning.
Tidyverse is just below side select.
Thank you. At least I now know that you are you are watching. So now I was just trying to say that the console here remains the same. The only difference we have with the R Markdown is just the syntax of having your text and your everything combined. Now this is the first part. So let's come here and say that we want to knit. When we knit, we are going to have, now that the package has been activated, there's still a warning there. Could not find a function called glimpse. I have activated the Tidyverse around here. Okay. So now let me come here and knit again and see. The same. That function.
You run only that part.
Come again.
You run only that part.
I can't hear you.
I'm saying if you run only that block. Let's see whether it will come.
If I do what?
If you run only that block.
Okay. All right, then let me see. Yeah, the glimpse function is still not found. So I'm trying to see how there is a way through which let me get to the console here and say that, well, let me and check and then check it again. Or it's not, or it's actually dplyr. Let me, it's like is dplyr. Let me activate the dplyr package and see. Am I the dplyr? No, this is not dplyr. Dplyr is already activated. And so I'm just trying to see, I don't know whether, but it comes with Tidyverse, I'm sure. So let me try and see if I can install, or I can try any kind of installation. So I have install packages, then into bracket, let's say I want let's say, let me verify which particular package contains Glimpse. It's either dplyr or tidyverse. But when I activate one, it masks the other one up. So I don't know which one is the.
Please,
yeah, tidyverse is activated. Come again. Okay, now so let me run only this. Yeah, that works all right. So hello, huh? Okay. Okay. I think I think is working now. It's working. Maybe there might be a different error. So the point I was trying to make was just a simple thing that, like, when you are running any package and the package has already been installed and then the save function cannot be found, just go to the ordinary way of like activating your packages, look for the package and then just check it, and then when you come, you will just run it properly. Now if it is not like that, then you come to let's say I wanted to install a package called Pacman, like Pack Manager. That one, it allows you to install many packages, so many packages. So you just come to your console. Remember that when you are running, if you are going to knit and you are in R Markdown, you see render. That's what is always active. You may come here and you may not find this console to be able to do whatever that you wanted to do. So if you are here, the console is deactivated. So you need to come and activate the console and get this prompt. So this is also the R parts, and then the top is the R Markdown part. So just like the way we were doing the ordinary R, this is where you can now write anything, you can install, you can library, you can do whatsoever. So let's assume that I'm going to install a package which I want to use it for the R Markdown. So I will just go to say install dot packages like this, and then the package name opens. So I'm going to put it in double quotes and I'm going to say I want Pacman. Hey, I don't know whether I spelled it well. It's like there's no K. Pacman. And then I'll run it. But remember that when you are running anything in the console, you only come and then run either on top here, or you just click enter. You don't do control and enter. So I do like this. What is it? Only click and enter. Now before this Pacman is installed, let me also show you something. Show you something that is different. When we have created all the blocks, every block has a sub way of running. Okay, you can see that over here we have a run key, so it means I am running only this block. That's one thing. Now if I don't want to run only that block and I want to run all chunks above, then this is where I use this particular key to run every any other chunk that is above that. Now if you want to run everything at once, then make sure that your cursor is always, you click your cursor here, which means this window is active right now and you want to run the things that are here. So let me check to see if the installation is complete. Yeah, that is successfully complete. So up to this point, let me say I am going to run all these codes. So if I come here, you see that it's going to ask me a question as to whether I am running the current chunk or I'm running the next chunk, or I could select any of them, say Control plus Enter, and then that is going to run all the chunks. So you can just actually come here, unlike in the first where what is it? You just go and click on the run. When you come to click on this run button on top, you are supposed to select whatever that you want. So let's say I want to run all chunks below. So if I click on this, it's going to run everything I have here below. And so let's say I come there, you see that it has run everything. Yeah. So in this case, you are not printing your HTML what is it? This and out, but you want to see what you have done already before you now can knit your HTML file. That's the point I am trying to establish here. So I have my scatter plot here. So this one is just within. That's within running. If I wanted to be running them one by one, I've already shown how to be able to do that. Now, after I have finished running like this, then you can see here top level. Then I can go to chunk 1. It means I was having how many chunk 3. I can go to chunk 2. I can go to chunk 3. So let me click on chunk 1. It takes me straight to chunk 1. At the moment, it is because we are thinking that this one is just small. But if you were dealing with a whole lot of work and you have run all of them and you are not going through one by one, you want to know which particular chunk is this, you come here and click, and then that will carry you to which particular chunk of the codes that you want to examine around that particular point, and then you can do that. Then when you also check around this side, you see something like ARM Markdown with arrows pointing up and down. When you click on that as well, it's going to give you everything that you are looking for. If you want HTML from here, you can get it. So it means all the things that you have run here which has worked. If you want to bring HTML file out of it, you get it from here. If you want a new script, yep.
Please.
Come again.
Amen.
Okay. It's like Eben is off, right?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Where were we? We were here.
Amen. He said to me, a what?
That what?
That
you two, your line is breaking.
Okay, I'll send it.
Okay.
On this part, please add Amen.
I can't. Okay. He's hiding here. Sorry. So now.
Okay, I'm in.
I'm in now.
Okay, then that's great. So now the other things that we needed to know, but I think I need to beg you guys to, because today is likely our very last day, and Mr. Mohammed has no glimpse of all that this ARM Markdown is all about. I have to just show him briefly what that is doing. So here I can clear output.
Big right, sorry,
Right, sorry,
I have a question.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I saw that you were installing Pacman.
Pacman.
Yes. Pacman is a package
What was
manager.
the function for that?
Place?
It's package manager. If you want to install up to like 7 packages at the same time, I mean, you don't have all the time in the day.
That was what.
Yeah. So you don't have all the day. You don't have all the time in your.
That was to run all the code chunks.
No. That one I was just trying. I don't have it. But what that one is doing is it allows you to install. Let's say you are going to work with a data set on survival analysis. Now, when you go to Google, I want to know all the packages that are needed for survival analysis. They will show you. People have blocks that they have written them down. Check all those ones, pick them out, and then when you now come, you use Pacman, and then you install all of them at the same time at a go. So you just type all of them their name using Pacman as the function, and Pacman will install all of them. You can do that and go and sleep. By the time you come back, all of them have installed, and then you can now begin to work with them. Just like what we are doing. So what we have here, I can actually close this one out. I can close any of the output out. So if you see a clear output, so this place I can expand or I can collapse it. And this place, if you come to look at the next small icon here, so we can show it in a new window. We can actually pick only this output, the histogram here, into a new window, and then we can take it out there. So that's basically the extra things that we need to do. And then, so let's say that I want to clear this output. So I'm just going to click here. So the output is cleared. And so I can come. I thought somebody was going to ask me that question. So I can come here and continue going down. I can come here and then open another chunk of. Mr. Mohammed, are you listening?
I'm back. Can you hear me?
I'm back.
Great. So have you heard of R Markdown before?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
No.
Have you heard of R Markdown before?
No, please.
Great.
No, please.
All right. So
No, please.
yes, okay. Eben, you and Paulina, I'm giving the two of you 1 minute each to take Mr. Mohammed through. So Paulina, you will begin and tell me if you have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this session. Or okay, you tell me. We are going to open a new session and then start R Markdown at a go. And then what is it? Where we are going to start? You just tell me, and I'll be following you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say we have.
Come again.
Because
Your line is breaking.
I don't know, her network is not stable.
Okay, then let me just do it. So, Mohammed, this is what R Markdown is all about.
That's what I want to know first.
So R Markdown is one of the sessions in R, or in R Studio, or what we call IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So the R Studio that we are calling is actually IDE in data science, is IDE. So the IDE has a particular aspect called R Markdown. That R Markdown, it helps you to be able to prepare your report at the same time at a go. So you can actually, instead of you running your course here, before you export your output to another place, before you begin to explain and go and open Microsoft Word, no. In R Markdown, you are doing everything at the same time. So you open the new script and then you just start typing and then you can go ahead. Now, when you have, before R Markdown can work, you need to have R Studio. Now, when you have the R Studio, anytime, the first thing you need to know is the session. So you can see on top of the R tabs, you can see something called session. You click on session, you see new session. You click on new session and wait. It's going to open a new session for you, just like the way it is opening. The new session has been opened. This is how it always opened. Mostly, you may not see this thing that you are seeing help on top here. You may not see it. Now, when the new session is opened, you may think that you have only 2 windows. It's not 2 windows. They have folded up. So come here and fold this window down, and then you will see that there is a new script that has just been opened. That has been opened. Now, if this particular new script was not opened, then you will have to open it yourself by coming to click on File, come to New, go to Text File, and then you will open it. But this particular new session that has been opened, it has been opened as R Studio. For now, R doesn't recognize it as R Markdown. Immediately it becomes R Markdown, you are going to see Neat. Neat is a tool that comes with R Markdown. So what do that? You will see something called Untitled 1. If you create another one, it will be Untitled 2. So this blue button you are seeing here, you click on that, and it will take you to your local machine. Local machine is your ordinary computer where you are having your whatsoever, your desktop, your document. Then it means you are creating a file. You want to save the file. So let's say I want to save that file in my desktop. I'll go and click on my desktop, come to the file name, and then you write there. I'm just going to say tutorial. Let's say R Markdown. That is not what is important. The important thing is, after you've done this, you bring your point, and then you would go ahead and say capital R, M, and D. That is R Markdown. When you do that and then you save, I told all of us yesterday that every programming language uses file extension to be able to execute it. The file extension is that part that always comes after dots. If it's a text file, you will see TXT. If it's Excel, you will see the Excel extension. If it's CSV, if it is Python, you will see PY. In that order, so that the IDE will know that the code you are dealing with is a Python code, is R Markdown code, is R code. That's why when you save your document and it is in R, the extension is always .r. So in this way, the extension is .rmd. It means R Markdown. When you have finished like that, then you now come and click Save. So it is asking me a question. Just click Yes, and in that case, a new session has been opened. The file is now on top here. You will see Neat Save. You will see Neat here, and you will see all sort of things. This is a little bit different from the ordinary R Studio. Now your R Markdown is now ready. Now, to able to understand what all this is all about, go to Help, and then come to you see Help on your R tabs. Then come to R Markdown Quick References and click on that. It's already there, but I just want you to know how sometimes you may open and it's not there. So when it is there, now you now come and look at the definition of R Markdown. This you should do after we are done with the tutorial. It will give you all that R Markdown is doing and give you a link if you want to study more about R Markdown. When you click on this link, it will take you to R Markdown on a browser. Now, for emphasis, if you want to write something in italics or in bold, it means that the word should be between, just like the way they are. It doesn't mean that if I want to type italics and I want the word to appear italics, it should be sandwiched in between 1 star on each end. 2 stars on each end is like that. Now, if I want a header, and then a subheader, and then a subheader. For instance, if you are having a document, the document has a title. So I'm going to come here all over and say that we are going to be doing an analysis on, let's say, we are going to be looking at regression. Or let's just say we are going to look at the one that we're doing, the empty cast. We just want to have some few information about the empty cast. So we say analysis of empty cast. So, but we have to start with hashtag. And the hashtag here is followed by analysis of, let's say, casts. Let's just put it that way. Now, when we come to our subheading, the subheading is going to take two hashtags. So then you now say, what is it? Then you want to look at the speed of cars. Then maybe if you are having another subtopic, then that will also be like 3, like this. And then you can go ahead and then also add it. But now let me leave it at this 2. There's something I need to emphasize here. When you if you write the hashtag and then you add the word, your title to it, there's no space between them. And then you come here to, there's no space between them. R Markdown is going to treat them as a continuous line. If I come here, I'm going to click knit. If I come here and I do like this, let me show this quickly before I continue. Have you seen that everything will appear on one line? And the reason is that there was no space between the hashtag. So now if I come here, I open a space up, open another space up here. Now if I come to knit, I'm coming to explain what that knit is all about. Like this. You see that now you have a big header topic followed by another one. That is why syntax is always important. Now if I'm done with this, maybe I want to put my analysis in in part 1. So the part 1, I want to say, if I do double hash, the double stars, you can see that I want the text to be in bold. So I want to say part 1, and so I'm just going to say part 1, and then say analysis of statistics or statistical analysis. But I want the statistical analysis to be in italics. All right? I didn't say this yesterday. So what I'll do is, even though I have opened it as a bold text, one of the bold text must be in italics. So I'm going to say 1 star here and put that I want statistics, statistical analysis. I want the word statistics to be statistical. Then I'll close that one by only 1 star. Statistical analysis. Part 1 is statistical analysis of, let's say, the speed. And then I'll now close that one by double stars. When I do like this, if I come here and I decide to knit it, you see that I have my big topic, my subtopic, and part 1 is the statistical is in italics of the speed. So that is what we are able to use to be able to produce the entire document. Just get some of these basic things. Now, when I have done that, my part 1, I just want to look at the statistics of the speed. So to be able to now start running your R codes in R Markdown, you always open what we call a block of code. So you start that one by a key. That key is close to 1 on your keyboard, or if you understand keyboard, where we have the tilde key is below the tilde key called ASCII. So you just press that key 3 times, 1, 2, 3. you will see that this drop down arrow will come, telling you that you have opened a block. If you enter and then do the other 3 lines, if I enter like this and I do the same that line 3 times, it will close the block. You see that another arrow is pointing up. It has closed the block. But in this point, we have not indicated whether the block is R code. What am I going to write in that block? Is it going to be R code, is Python code, it is C++, or is JavaScript? So I need to indicate that. So I'll come back to the first dot 3 and open curly bracket like this, and then I'll now put R inside there. When I do that, it means I am saying that every code I'm going to write below or within that block is going to be an R code. What we need to know is that it means in R Markdown, you can actually run different codes. You can run shell, you can run bash code, you can run Python code, you can run JavaScript to put everything as your document. This I don't have enough time to be able to show all of us everything because it's going to involve a lot of installations. Like I have PyCharm here for my Python, you see, and then you go to the Java, you go to C++, and I need a VS Code and everything. I have VS Code also on my laptop here. So, but when you have all those things, you can actually combine all of them and then prepare your document using R Markdown. So now that I have opened the block and where I have here, I can now type the first thing I want to do. So let's say I wanted to look at the head. So I just put head of let's say empty cars. Okay. Then when I finished, let's say if that's not all that I need here, maybe I want to look at class. I'll just say class, just like the way we were doing. A class of what? Empty cars. Then maybe I have finished with that block. Then I can, okay, sorry. I finished with that block, so I have to come and click here and then enter a different block. So the different block, maybe you want that one to also be part 2. So you open again your, sorry, and then you say that's your part 2. Maybe part 2, you don't want to say anything, so you just close it with another 2. And then come there, open another block of codes using the same ASCII 3 times. Then you put your curly bracket and write R. It means it's going to be an R code. Come out of it, enter, write whatever code that you want. Here, I want to look at the summary. Summary is already there. And then I want a summary of empty cars. Then I can come down here and come and close that. And that's all. It is closed like that. Then I can come down again and then I'm going to continue like that. And when I finished, then I can simply go ahead and knit it. When I go ahead, I can now print the whole thing as a Word document. And then it will be there. Now, there are other things I will just tell you quickly. There's something we call inline code. For instance, you could be writing your thing and say that, okay, the average speed, the average speed of the cars in US. In this case, maybe you wanted US to be in italics. You see? So at this point, I will say star, and then I'll put there in USA, and then add another star to it. At this point, when it prints, it will print USA as italics. Then I'll go ahead and say, now in this case, I'm looking for the average speed of the cars in USA. Now I have to put a code, not the actual number, and then the R Markdown will interpret the code and give me the figure instead of me writing the figure there. So to do that, you bring the ASCII 1 like this, add R to it, and then space. Average, what are we talking about? We are talking about, let's say, mean. So you now bring your mean, bring your, then you open it, and then you have your empty cars, but you are just looking at you are looking at one of the columns. So you are looking at the columns of MPG, let's say just MPG, and then you close. When you come out, then what is it? You can put your full stop there. Maybe that's all your statement. Now you can continue to do like this until you get to the end of the analysis. You can enter here and repeat the same thing here. Let's say you wanted the same, or you can copy the whole of this. I can just copy it, enter a new line, and then paste it there. But this time around, I don't want what is it, MPG. Maybe I rather want this one. It's also a column there. All right. So when I have done that, these ones will come as in text. Then I can come here, maybe say, if I want, I can say end of my analysis. I'm going to write there and say end of analysis. Then I'll close it up with like this. But you notice that the color hasn't changed because there's a space here. So Markdown didn't recognize it. I finished. Now when I do like this, I can now go and what we call knit. The knit is a function that will allow you to now print the whole of this as a document that you can present. So I can come here and say knit as HTML. So the document you are going to print will be in the form of HTML, or you can do it into a PDF, you can do it into a Microsoft Word, or you can knit with different parameters. And that's the advanced level. We haven't gotten there. So I will come here. I want to knit it to HTML. So if I do like that, my document is preparing like that. You see that your HTML has come. So analysis of cars. We are looking at this. The subtopic is speed of cars. Part 1, statistical of the or when it's to have said statistical analysis of the speed. You can always go back and make your corrections. So we are looking at head. So we looked at all the cars. This is how it was looking like. The class, it was a data frame. We look at part 2. We're looking at the summary statistics, and it was printed here. And then we came and said that the average speed of the cars in USA was this. You see that it has printed USA in italics and printed the average speed. Then the average speed of the cars in USA, because I did another line, it has also printed this one. All right. So this is basically how to be able to, prepare your document or using R Markdown. These are the basics, and if you understand these basics, then you don't have any problem. The next thing that I needed to let you know is that you can knit, and then all the codes that you were seeing, the codes may not be there. That way you always come here and say echo, and then echo, you can set it to false. It means when I run this particular block, you won't see this codes, you can only see the results. But if you don't set echo to false, automatically R Markdown knows that you are saying that, okay, I want you to see the code. Mostly in open science, they always want to see the code. That's the most important thing. So this one is just for us to know, but you won't do that without the codes. What is the point doing R Markdown? Because you want people to know how you got the results, and people should be able to replicate it. So you have to, and then if you are conversant with GitHub, when you go to GitHub, you will see a lot of people have their work that they have done with all these codes and then the results along. This is what they do. I can then pick this and go and put it in my GitHub page, and then I have GitHub page. You can go there, you see anything that I have done. But this is what I was doing. You can also, instead of you also running knitting everything here, I'm going to pick up the file. You can actually also run everything here. If you want to run only this block and leaving the other blocks, you can come and use the run key here. If you want to run anything above it, you can run it. If you want to run all of them, everything that you have done here, you come to run, go to, yes?
Please.
Yeah, go ahead. Ah, he was not even
They
around.
were off. Yeah.
No, I was backstage.
Okay.
Mr. Brian.
Okay.
Mr. Brian,
Hey,
The good thing with
StreamYard
StreamYard is that if you can still hear everything.
okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
we can hear
we
you,
can
but
hear
we are
you,
not
but we
here.
are not here.
okay. Then what is it? That's great. I didn't
So
know
I
that.
have questions.
Okay. Then that's great.
There's something that you use to open and close the block. Where can I find it?
Okay. Shift and then curly bracket. That key is close to P.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one is that just make a particular page. Is it half page or
And what GitHub? If you go there and type my name, you will see my
send it for me.
post. GitHub or GIT and then HUB. GitHub. Yeah.
No space.
If you, no. GitHub page. It's like you having a Facebook page.
Okay.
I have GitHub page, and even though I haven't dumped any script there yet, but when you go there, you see a lot of people who have done their works. They will deposit it with all this script and effort whatsoever, and then these days when you want to publish a paper that you have done this, they demand that you should have deposited everything on GitHub, then put a link to it so that people can. Open science people are very, very, very tough these days. So I was simply just saying that you can run only this block here, leaving the other blocks. If you want to run all the blocks, you come and click on the ordinary run on top here. Come to run all chunks, so it will run everything. If I do like this, it's going to run everything. You can see everything around here, and in that order. So if you didn't want that, you wanted to run only this, you just come and click this, and then it will run only that. Okay. So you can, after you have run, you can actually close it. Okay. Then you can close. You can always click on the X to close it. You can export it, and then in that order. And then I think the other thing that we needed to know much was about referencing, which I said I haven't used it, so I haven't become quite conversant. But before I sleep, I will upload a video. I will do a video of it because I want to get myself quite familiar about it before I will be able to talk about it. So I will, before I sleep, I would have uploaded a video on my YouTube, and I will share the link with all of you to just be like 15-minute video as to how to be able to do referencing, bibliography and stuff. But I thought that should have been a topic that I know most of us are using different ways of doing referencing. Mandel, some are using what is it? What is it? EndNote. So people have different referencing style. But we can also do that in R Markdown. So
Big right.
that's it. Yep.
Yesterday, you wanted to show us how we can knit to PDF.
Yes. If you want to knit to PDF, you need. Let me try, and then you see. You need to install a particular package first before you can knit it to it. So output file says, sorry, see this LaTeX. I need to install LaTeX. You see, and that's why I didn't even want to go around it. LaTeX is also a whole. LaTeX is like R. It's also like a data analysis tool, but it's much more on like Word document. Remember, when you come here, you go to new file. Then when you check down, you will see LaTeX somewhere. don't know whether maybe it's not here. But I need to install LaTeX. Let me check packages, install, and see whether I have an extension for LaTeX. This is how LaTeX is spelled. It's not there. So unless I use CRAN to be able to install it, and that is going to be a whole lot of things. So the video I'm saying I'm going to upload is going to be part of, there will be something that I will add to it that will allow us to be able to know how to change all this text format to the way you want. So the referencing will be there, and then when you print out your HTML file like this, then you will see a scroll button on top here, or a drop down button on top here. When you click on that, it will drop down and let you select the style that you want and whatsoever. So instead of, if you want it to be in a PDF, in a CIS, in whatsoever, it will be there. And so that will be added. But at the moment, if you want to know how to generate this out in a PDF format, unless you have LaTeX, which is part of your, and I don't have LaTeX installed on my computer. You can see I have only PyCharm, VS Code, R, then VS Code for C++, Charm for Python, and then I don't have that. And I don't actually know how to even use LaTeX. I've never tried using it. They even made it compulsory. I refuse to learn it because I have alternative that does almost the same thing for me. So it's just a waste of time. So most of these languages, you learn plenty of them, and they are all doing the same thing. It's just wasting your time. You just master yourself one, and then you forget the rest.
That's it.
And it will allow the thing to go off. So if you have finished this particular file, it is found at the directory. It has found you know where you have saved it. For in terms of Mohammed, remember that when I was saving the file, I said you can save it in your desktop, in your document whatsoever. Now, if you want to know where the HTML file that we just printed, where it is hiding, you can now go to your local machine. If it was on desktop, if it is on desktop, I can come there and say tutorial. You can see that this is how I saved it, tutorial R Markdown, and it is here. You can now come here, your file is already here. Then I now open it on my browser, and then all the information I have is here. And then the report is ready. So you could have written the report in the order that you want. You could add text to it, and then it will be ready like the way you want. For instance, where were we? We were here. If I wanted to put a text here, I could write any text at all that I want, and then it will print the text. Everything will be combined. So you can always write the text wherever you want to insert a table, you can insert. That's another thing that I have not paid attention to. About whether how to insert images in your entire file like this. I haven't done that, but I think we have a leeway. If we were having enough time, we would have been doing them one after the other, and then until we get to that place. But for now, I think where we are is okay. It can help us maybe with. If you want more understanding, it's good that you come and click on this link. That's going to take us to R Markdown documentary. You see, now it's open to this place, and it's going to give you step-by-step way to understand R Markdown. So just get started from here. Then you can see how it works. You can now click on all this, and then you follow it one after the other. How to install R Markdown. Then you can follow it until you get to the end. When you finished, how does it work? You click on how does it work. Then it will show you how it works. Everything. So you can see the neat R is there. The MD, the Pandoc, and the R Markdown, they are all here. Of course, the inline codes, there are many ways of doing it. Code chunks and whatsoever. Or everything that you need will now be, it will be here for you to have a glimpse of it. How to prepare slides presentation using R Markdown. Dashboard using R Markdown. You can do notepads or notebook, output formats and whatsoever. All of them are here. And then I think that now that we have some small grounding, if we are able to find time to read the link that is there, trust me, you will be you'll be good to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that where am I?
Yeah. Thank you.
So I think that we would have continued the tutorial for a while, and then we would have learned a lot of things. But my boss, like I sent all of you the text. What is it? As part of the program that is sponsoring me, it get to a point that you must also be a teacher and teach others. So this time around, no, not this time around. Last year I was the one. This year too, I'm the same person. So it's organized by Human Health and Hereditary Africa, H3 Africa, based in South Africa, and that's where our main headquarters is. So they always organize this thing, training models, where somebody will be the host, and then you practically don't know the people. They just divide them into like 20 classes. So 300 people applied, 20 classes. So the Ghana Note, I'm the one that's going to be hosting. There may be about 20 or 25 people that I have to be teaching almost every day, twice a week. So it's going to be on post-GWAS analysis. And then that's the reason why I have to cut these classes. Because that one, I don't have an option. It's part of the work I need to do. And my boss has already assigned me to it. So that's what I will start on the 6th, and then, on the 7th, and I'll finish on the 30th of March. That's about 2 months. So that is why we have to. So yeah.
I think we have been. I used to hear I never had a feel of it. Now I think I can learn more on my own based on what you have given me. Or you have given us. So we are most grateful to you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So next time I come to look for you. Yesterday I was having a supervisor. So that's why I couldn't join.
Okay, yeah. Come to campus, College of Science. Come to room 12.
Yes.
That's where I am. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hopefully,
Thank you so much.
because you find time for us to on one or two topics that might come your way, or like interview, let us know. So we really appreciate it.
Okay. I wanted to even say that maybe if in the course of the time, or if you are dealing with some analysis in R, and then, or you are studying something and then you are not getting it, you can just send me a text and say that, or maybe, and then show me the error and whatsoever. If I don't even have the answer, but I know where to pass to be able to to get the answer correctly for you. Or if you also want us once in a while to meet one-on-one, we can always arrange, and then before this one is over. My boss also added some tasks to me yesterday. Some 15 students he's supposed to supervise. He pushed them to me. And so the big men, they are just there, but that's why it is. I have to be big myself. They just you do the plenty job.
Man, they already big man.
Don't mind him. The big men think someone has to know that they are good, that they are good. They hide in ourselves inside from the don't worry. They are already good.
What is it? You are a big woman. You are enjoying yourself. You are eating pizza every day. Eh?
Oh, no, since I haven't tasted it. Those kind of foods are not my food.
You haven't been to Italy side. If one go to Italy and see, their favorite food is pizza. they eat pizza a lot.
Oh yeah,
So
it's not my those kind of foods are not my food. They are junk foods.
yeah, me too. When I eat, I run diarrhea like anything. I don't waste my time. When I went to Italy, I suffered until I came back. I went to Belgium, the same thing. Those guys, they are the poorest cooks I've ever seen in this world. They don't
Belgium,
know how to
eh?
cook. Yes, the poorest cooks I've ever seen in my life. I mean, how can you mix tomatoes with water and say you are preparing stew? What stew is that? I ate the thing around diarrhea the whole night. Huh? What is it? What is it? I went to Abuja sometime like that. They too, for them, their spices. The whole Africa, nobody eats spices past Nigerians. But spices, why?
Can't go near them.
Okay, so we'll leave it here and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Yeah,
Sure, sure.
thanks, yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks. Thanks. Thanks.